I always look out for opportunity to be able to help people. And ultimately, if I'm not coming to the business table, or to any table for that matter, without being able to listen first, find out what's going on in their lives, what their pain points are, and then implement or help find a solution that might work for them, if I'm not able to do those things, then why should I even be at the table? That's second to none in my book. It's no longer about the dime. It's about being able to provide for others.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today we have Susan Shaw, and she's with IMMIX Strategic, and she's going to talk to us about key factors in building a business, building relationships, strategy, and then automation.
Before we start the show, I'm excited to announce that we have a new sponsor for this podcast, and it's DocRx. DocRx is a family-oriented company dedicated to tailor operational solutions for patient health and compliance programs that increases the quality and efficiency of patient-centered care, and always with the mission of the patient's health first. With over 10 years of experience helping doctors and their patients with diagnostic testing, patient monitoring, medical supplies, compliance, wholesale pharmacy, physician dispensing, billing, and much more. DocRx is your patient and health compliance solution, both under one roof. To find out how DocRx can help you, your hospital, pharmacy, or physician's office, see all their services at docrx.com. That's docrx.com. Now on to today's show.
Hey, I'm Karen. I'm a former CPA, entrepreneur, business consultant with big ideas.
Welcome to Cheers to Business.
Susan Shaw, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You and I have never met. Johnny, our producer at Deep Fried Studios at the Container Yard, kind of set this meeting up. And so I did a little background, and I'm really interested. You always say, tell your story. I see that. So tell me your story.
Man, I moved here about 5 years ago. My dad is originally from Mobile, Alabama. My mom is a small town, Sumter, South Carolina girl. They met while working together at Shell Oil in Louisiana, and the rest is history. We moved all over the country. I was actually born in Omaha, Nebraska. I have a sister that was born in Minnesota, and the other two were born here. They've moved all over. And so I got this awesome experience at a very young age of, unfortunately, not growing up around immediate family, but getting exposed to different cultures, getting exposed to different walks of life very quickly. And so having 4 girls and no boys, I don't know if, our parents knew what to do with that, or if they knew what to do all along, but we all ended up in sports at some way down the road and love it. And so we're always either playing or coaching or working in them. And that's been a really big shaper in my life. It's something that I enjoy and have taken a lot of life lessons from. When I decided to move here 5 years ago, I found myself 3 years into being a single parent. My daughter is 8 years old now, and I knew that I could do it on my own, but as they wanted to retire, I wanted to be able to raise her near them. And so I made a very personal move. It probably had something to do with taking that one run on the Fairhope Pier and saying, okay, God, here's my arm. You can twist it. I'm here. It's beautiful over there, and I absolutely love it. But from a business perspective, I had worked in, major marketing firms and departments and for vast different industries, whether it be hospitality or construction and just about everything in between. And so we had set up continuous improvement programs and innovation departments, and that was something that I always loved because it came down to helping people. So I have actually just recently pivoted, but then again, who hasn't in the year 2020, right? But I've pivoted out on my own, and for the first time ever, I'm able to help multiple clients at once rather than just one company at a time to grow and succeed. So it's pretty exciting stuff going on.
Yeah, that excites me, growing businesses. I have multiple ones, and it's just exciting. I think that was the biggest part of my career, was helping people grow and watching the success. It's more rewarding than $1 any day.
Yeah, it's the love of the game, man, and it's fun. And when you know the rules of engagement for business and you can do it well, man, that's exciting, and it's life-changing. It's transformational for people, and to see them be able to grow and provide for their families and for the families of others, of their employees, of their teammates, that's second to none in my book. It's no longer about the dime. It's about being able to provide for others.
Now, you said something really interesting right there. I actually wrote it down. And so for listeners that, are thinking about going to business or recently have gone into business, or COVID's just shook their life upside down and they saw an opportunity, How do you define rules of engagement in business?
Okay, good question. So I have a little bit different perspective. I always look out for opportunity to be able to help people. And ultimately, if I'm not coming to the business table or to any table for that matter, without being able to listen first, find out what's going on in their lives, what their pain points are, and then implement or help find a solution that might work for them. If I'm not able to do those things, then why should I even be at the table? The financial part comes later on, but to me, I just launched this company, IMMIX Strategic, and we own a technology platform that's pretty darn powerful. And it is a multi-channel platform. You can set up amazing marketing campaigns in there. We are helping agencies and different types of businesses, and it's really exciting. But at the end of the day, we set up IMMIX Strategic rather than just IMMIX DXP being the product, because we wanted to be able to help people through that. We didn't want to sell you a subscription model and say, here you go, here's some training videos, get on your way, right? Figure it out. That's not fair. We want to get into the room. Obviously we may or may not be able to at this point with the pandemic, or at least we'll mask up for you. But we wanted to ultimately be able to build strategy and first and foremost, build a relationship. So for me, the rules of engagement in business start with building the relationship, because you're not just dealing with a business, you're building people. And if you're not paying attention to that core value, that you're dealing with people across the table that have lives too and have families, and your goal is not to better them and their situation, then it just makes it a little bit more challenging.
Do you think it's more roles of engagement or rules of engagement?
Ooh, maybe a little bit of both. Definitely a little bit of both.
I think it's both. You said it earlier, and I totally agree. It's playing the game, and it's a fun game. It can be painful sometimes, but it's definitely fun. But there's certain rules you follow of ethics and doing the right thing and treating people right. But we also take on different roles depending on the personalities we're talking to. And also being able to remember that and not being so like a board up your butt, basically. Those stuff that you can't adapt to the people around you. I think it's huge.
Exactly. And finding a solution that'll help them, not just help you. That's key for me. We always say relationship first, then build the strategy, then automate. We're all about marketing automation and helping you create those processes. But again, if we don't know the heart behind your business or the why, right? Why you started then, or why you are where you are now, then we can't back out of that to help you build a strategy to automate your systems, to automate your marketing, to automate your lead generation. And ultimately, that sounds silly. Well, why do we want to evaluate? Why do we want to dive in the details? And a lot of people say, like, why are you asking me the personal questions? Well, those are the hard questions, but I promise you, if you take the time and you answer them honestly, then we're going to make it a lot further in the long run. And the automation becomes so simple and so much fun. You see this wild transformation within your business, and you start to see it, which I think is really neat. You start to see it within your teams that are around you. So, COVID right now, man, everybody, whether you're in a business that is scrapping to stay relevant and constantly pivoting, or you are in a business that is downsizing, or you are in a business that is having the best year ever, which I know some of those. I know they're, scarce, few and far between, but they're out there. There are businesses that are thriving through this pandemic. So whatever end of the spectrum that you are on, everyone right now with this level of uncertainty, we're operating from fear. And so if you can understand that, whether you're in a thriving business, hey, what does tomorrow look like? Everything's just changed for everyone around me. What does the future look like for our business? What happens when this growth stops? Or if you are, man, how am I going to feed my family tonight? How am I going to pivot to stay relevant? How are we going to feed the families of the people on our team? Whatever end of the spectrum, you can identify with the fact that there's an operation of fear right now in COVID. And if we can help eliminate that, if we can help, give the tools of communication or tools for communication during this crisis, then I think we're all going to be a little better off. At least we'll decrease the negativity.
I've always said since this thing started that, all right, stop crying, get out of the corner, and look around you for the opportunities. Because if you see an opportunity and you price it fairly and it's a win-win-win, to me, it's always 3 wins. Win for me, one win for you, and a win for people around us.
Absolutely.
And so name those 3 things again. You've said 3 things a couple of times.
Sure. Yeah, it ends in automation, but it starts with a relationship. So if you put the relationship first, then build the strategy, then automate, automate becomes really simple. And now you've got a thriving business. So relationship first, strategy second, and automate.
I mean, it's so simple, and that's what I love simple. Don't overthink it, don't overcomplicate it. But I think that's what this is, our conversation today is about, is building a relationship, strategy, and automation. I love it.
Absolutely.
Why reinvent the wheel? Don't reinvent the wheel, people. You're not going to do it any different. You can take what somebody else has done and make it better, but don't try to start it from scratch. Somebody's done it.
Yep. I used to work alongside somebody that always used to say that the best business ideas are stolen, or the best ideas are stolen. And I at first was like, oh, I don't even know if I like that phrase, because, nobody likes a thief. But at the same time, I resonate with it in that, you know what? If my idea gives you motivation to get up, right? Like you said, get out of the corner, get off your butt, go start the business. If it gives you motivation to go find the funding, to go pivot into a new space, whatever it may be, then run with it. Absolutely run with it. If I show you my platform and you can build something better and cooler, or we can partner and you can take it in a different way, do it. But go play. Get your head back in the game and go play. Have a little fun with it. Business ultimately is a game for me. And I don't say that lightly, right? There are going to be times that it will knock you down. It will knock you flat on your ass, and it's not fun. But if I've learned anything from sports, you get right back up, you get in the game, and your time to recover is nearby. So that time for rest is nearby, but you've got to build that in too.
It's so simply brilliant. I was checking you out. I didn't cyber stalk, I promise. I found some old news clips, and you were with the Mobile Sports Authority. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you bought the first triathlon in Mobile County. It was held down at Dauphin Island. That is so cool. Is that still going on?
It is. It is called Try the Gulf. And Judge Don Davis, was really the brains behind that. Man, what a fun project. I love to bring people together. That's actually what IMMIX means, what it stands for. And ultimately why I wanted to start IMMIX Strategic. It's right down to that core and all those lessons that I learned from sports. Means to bring together. And so we bring great brands together with the people that need them. But ultimately, same thing for the triathlon, right? Or for any other sporting venue or sporting event, even now in COVID days. But that event was so tricky. We had, sponsors to please. And in what sporting event world or what event world do you not have sponsors to please? But we just had a lot of things that we had to work through. We were putting ultimately swimmers, triathletes out in this cove in the Gulf of Mexico, right there in the mouth of Dauphin Island, and beautiful. But the race director, right before the race starts, said something I will never forget. And she says, hey, we're going to get ready. We're starting this thing. We're hyping everybody up, right? And she says, but if you see a shark, if you see a bull shark, just punch it and move on. And I'm telling you, the gasps that came from the people that, by the way, most of them had never been to Dauphin Island before and had never been in this water before, who were already a little nervous. And it was what you call a sprint triathlon. So this is a perfect triathlon for beginners. So already having that anxiety of being a first timer for a lot of these athletes, they've probably trained in pools, may not have stepped foot in open water to train yet, but they're getting told, hey, don't worry about your newness nerves. You see a shark, you punch it and you swim for your life.
It sounds like being in business.
Exactly. You see a shark, you just move on. Just punch it and move on. It's perfect. So we had a lot of fun with that one. It was a good time. And man, I got to tell you, some of the people, I made lifelong friends out at Dauphin Island, because some of those people out there just, bent over backwards to make this event happened for their community. Ultimately, it brought in tourists from all over the country. I think there were like 30 some states that we brought people from the first year. So it was really neat to see those results come out of that effort.
Oh, what a legacy to be able to be part of something like that continues on.
Absolutely.
So Susan, tell me about your new venture, IMMIX Strategic.
Sure. IMMIX Strategic is really all about just that, helping people grow their businesses. So we take a very holistic approach from it. But who we are, we essentially are a marketing technology partner. Name a business that you know that has one of those. Not many, right? And so they either have a marketing agency partner or they have a tech partner. We are now bringing for the first time kind of CMOs, CFOs to the same table, or the agency to the table as well. We're a resource to agencies, but we're also a resource to small to large businesses, even startups in that space as well. So we have a wide array of clients. What we have in-house is really unique. It's called a digital experience platform. And a digital experience platform is essentially marketing automation. We develop triggered communications and digital advertising placement all in one spot. So now for the first time ever, you are actually in the same interface, in the same platform, able to spell out and map out your customer experience with your brand and build relevant campaigns. Having it in one interface or having it in one platform means this: you're putting 5 pennies in and getting 7 out. I can tell you the exact ROI in it. And if you're a marketer, I think that resonates with you the most, being able to, or having been addressed of, hey, what's the ROI on this? Well, hang on, I got to go automate or manually automate 6 different reports and try to get you a number, try to see how many impressions we had or how many clicks we had in this area. And how do you quantify that into, real revenue that we generated for the company? And very, very few people out there can answer those questions well for their businesses. And so we're bringing a technology that's not only powerful, but that's game changing in the way that you market, because you're getting down to what's working and what's not, allowing you to stop spending the money on what's not working and focus your funds on what is working. So that's kind of what we do. We help navigate that customer experience process, and we love doing it. Who doesn't need a good experience right now, right? Especially with everything going on in our world.
Yeah, thank you. So you're more proactive marketer for the marketer? Is that right?
Sure, absolutely. So we actually deal with the marketers inside businesses. We deal with, small businesses that don't have a marketing department. We deal with large businesses that do have a full marketing department. We also work with the agencies as their tech provider as well. We have some larger clients that have an in-house marketing team that want to utilize our platform and use the IMMIX DXP, our digital experience platform, to have a better experience and better constant engagement with their clients or customers. Especially now, that's so important to make sure this feels like our world's changing every day. And we want to be able to provide some normalcy and some real-time communication. It goes back to the relationship building, right? At the end of the day, it's not about if you communicate when you want to communicate. It's about if you can communicate when your customers or your clients need you to communicate. So if my client is coming to me at 9:00 at night or 8:00 at night, and I'm not able to get them a good answer, man, we have an 8-second attention span these days. I'm on to somebody else, right? And so, or they're on to somebody else. Right. So they need to be able to find that information quickly. And unfortunately, SEO game, it's just not doing it for people anymore. So it's kind of a race to the bottom, and SEM, the same thing. And so we want to make sure that we're giving some opportunities to level the playing field for businesses across the U.S.
It makes common sense to me that the way even, SEOs were new, but now it's so flooded that SEOs, what are they going to get you when it's too crowded for anybody to see you?
Yep. It's like 77,000 Google searches per second. That's insane. How do you stand out in that? Your SEO game, your SEM game's not working for you anymore, I promise.
So you go out and you show people a demo of this, and does it kind of tell where you're failing or where your hits are, so that you keep doing the things that work?
Yes, absolutely. We have 5 different digital advertising placement capabilities in there, meaning you can buy different types of digital ads there and lead people right back into your campaign. So that's that relevant, targeted communications. We use a lot of variable data so that you are no longer just sending the same yelling type of message out to your entire contact list. You are now getting really hyper-focused on what's relevant to them, whether it be geographically where they live, whether they're male or female, whether they have certain shopping habits, whether they are worried about back to school options, whatever the product or service may be, we're now able to give it to them in a way that's just relevant and timely and something that they may be looking for.
So where did IMMIX come from? IMMIX.
So it's actually derived from the Latin word immixtus, and immixtus ultimately means to mix, to commingle, or to bring together. And for me, that's a faith piece, bringing together people and helping them thrive. And so I love the art of that. It helps people. I would be nowhere where I am today, would have not had a single damn experience that I've had today without the people that have helped me along the way or have mentored me or have come alongside me or given me a leg up when I needed it. And so we're really all about bringing great brands together with the people that need them, their target markets or new target markets, new audiences. But ultimately, that's where IMMIX comes from. It's a verb, and we want to make sure that we IMMIX well. And so in order to do that, we start with the relationship. That's kind of how it all ties in for us.
Susan, we've covered a lot of ground. I mean, I love your talking about building a relationship, strategy, and then automation. So when people want to get a look at what you've got to help them, develop new ways in a crowded market, how do they get in touch with you?
You can reach us on any of your favorite social media platforms at IMMIX Strategic. You can also check us out at www.immixstrategic.com. IMMIX is spelled IMMIX. You can also drop us a line at hey@immixstrategic.com and ask us your business questions. We love that. Man, if there's something that you feel like you're struggling with, you need help with, if there's anything that we can do to assist, drop us a line. We want to try to find a solution for you. Whether you become a client of ours or not, we're going to try to help you move to the next dot, so to speak.
Oh, fantastic. And, I think my cheers for today is cheers to people like you who think outside the box and develop something that is ever-changing every single day and growing. So big cheers to you today.
Thank you. Well, you said it best. It's ever changing at best, but also I'll cheers you right back in that, thanks for just developing a great podcast and helping businesses not only locally, but nationally too. It's really impressive what you're doing and bringing some really interesting people to the table. I'm honored to be on that list now and can't wait to hear what else you do next.
Well, thank you. I'm honored to have you on today. So it was just a really cool conversation. So it's amazing. Great people I've met on this show.
Oh, I love it. Well, I'm looking forward to the next time. Let's chat or at least grab a drink. We can cheers.
That'll work. We're grabbing some wine.
Deal. All right. Well, hey, have a fabulous day. Thanks for your time. It was fun.
Hey, if you like the show today, please reach out on iTunes or YouTube or anywhere you get your podcast and rate us. Tell a friend. Signing off. Peace, guys.
Please be sure to subscribe to Cheers to Business podcast on iTunes or anywhere else that you get your podcast. Visit our Facebook and be sure to give us a like. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, shoot us an email from the website cheerstobusiness.com.